Hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. There we go. Should be live. All right. Hello, hello. Here we go. Trying this out. The only thing is I'm not going to be able to see what people are chatting about. That's the only other thing. I mean, it's not a huge deal. All right. Try this out. Trying our overlay thing that we got going, so hopefully this is working well. Give me a minute here. I'm going to get a few things adjusted. There we go. All right, y'all give me a minute here. Thank you. All right. Okay. So thanks everybody for being patient. Try to do this the best that I can. I know a lot of people were, I think, asking for gun for IR stuff again, settings. So we can run through all that stuff again. Just give me a minute while I set all this stuff up, trying to get the camera pointed at a decent angle. And I can zoom into stuff too as well when we get into the settings here. So, I mean, we're getting more people here. Got up to 8 at the moment. I'm sure more people will jump on as we get going, but maybe I'll give it a couple more minutes. Let's maybe walk around the machine. I'll wait for a few more people to get on, and then we'll start getting into, like I said, the gun for IR stuff. I know that's a question for a lot of people, because I think I've showed that off the past couple weeks on how to kind of get in and make sure your games are going to work properly for your guns. And I'm just going to I'm not going to go through entirely everything. I'm basically going to just go and show you where to find code for things, or how I get in and find things and put them in there, the PID numbers and things like that. Because this machine has aim track guns, or will be getting shipped out with aim tracks. So like I said, basically I'm just going to plug the gun for IR stuff in there just to show you how to kind of get things set up if you ever switch to these guns potentially. Or perhaps get new drives, and you might have to do a few things to do the setup process. So, no, we did not. Sorry. Yep, sorry about that. What's up, Loose Cannon? What's up, John, Ben, Emmanuel? So again, And I'll tell you about this machine here that I'm going to be working on, and then, like I said, we'll get into it here. So we have a 2-player panel on this machine, on this Ultimate Pedestal. It's a Titans. I don't know how good they'll do this year. I know they still have that rookie quarterback, but you never know. I think we got Steve McNair down there. So again, with these Ultimate Pedestals, they get shipped without TVs on them, and you will mount your own TV of your desire. But it's just mirrored on the other side. I just have a 50-inch TV on this one, LG. We have the 28-inch active marquee down there. Kind of see their speakers. This is always kind of a nice spot too. If you wanted, you could put your controllers in there. Lighted trackball. So we have custom artwork design, custom upper kick plate lock door with shelf. I'll show you that in a minute. We have under panel lighting, the lighted trackball, aim track guns, our 50 terabyte Omega drive system with the up to 32 gigs of RAM. This customer is getting a Wii package as well, and two Xbox controllers with transmitter. So pretty much total price for everything that's listed here comes right around $7,500 for this in particular, with all his add-ons and everything. Yeah, I just do normal standing. Yep. Yeah, I just put the lights on there just because of the Bondo. I know I've had issues. Yeah, no, yeah, you should be fine. They're probably going to hear a little bit of noise because they got to sand down a machine so they can put some artwork on it. But we'll keep trucking along here. So hopefully you can hear me a little bit over the sanding. Yeah, because I know like shipping overseas can be pretty expensive. But yeah, let's check out this little shelf that we have in here. Shelf to unlock this. So again, you could fit your controllers in there, remotes. Real nice. Under panel lighting. And then, yeah. So, give me a second. There we go. Mark Daddy. Yeah, that's all right. Go Bears. And their new quarterback. I just like watching football in general, you guys. Yeah, I do like the Packers, but it's always fun to see what teams can do and pull off. And but yeah, I'll show you. So our super sale too here, because I kind of don't want to talk over the sanding too much. So there we go. So we have our super sale, and I think we showed this one off a few weeks ago. Yeah, I know, with Jordan Love already out, so hopefully that'll only be a couple weeks. The injury looked a lot worse on TV than what it had to become, but yeah, hopefully he heals up good and we can still make it to the playoffs and hopefully get to the Super Bowl. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. But our super sale, so $53.50 is the price on this guy. So that's just all the base options. Base computer, you can upgrade your computer if you wanted to, but the price obviously is going to go up a little higher. But nice gloss black finish. Blacked out marquee. Again, when you guys get these systems, you can always start with the base stuff. So you could start with the base set of drives. I mean, you don't need Xbox controllers. You can get your own eventually. You could always get a transmitter from us. I mean, if you know you're going to get some kind of guns too in the future, that can always get added on, especially for like pedestals or game boxes. You can always add all that stuff later on, especially too with the expansion drives. I know you can add that stuff on later, but sometimes you can get deals where all that you can get included. So just keep an eye open for sales. But there you go, $53.50. Otherwise, I know, like our pedestal here, this is, I think, the $43.50. So almost for $1,000 more you could get a Megacade. But here's like our Nintendo themed. I got the gun sitting on there right now. So $43.50, I think this was. Again, base. So this starts out at, yeah, like the $4,000. So $4,000. And then you could add the drives and everything, expansion drives and things like that. That's just a base computer with no expansions, no guns, no controllers. So you always have the option of getting a pedestal, and you could add guns and things like that to it if you don't have the money for that as of right now. But there you go, kind of show you these off again one more time. And then we're going to get into the gun for hire stuff, and I'll try to run through that as quick as possible. Try to get the screen up there as best as possible so you can see everything. Yeah, for sure. That's why we have Josh Jacobs. He didn't look too hot last week. I mean, he did have about like the best last week. But hey, that's week one for you. You never know, and it can always make improvements from there, you guys. So yeah, good luck to all you with all your favorite teams out there. Go Pack, go. So let's just jump right into it here. Gun for AR. So first thing I'm going to do with these is I'm just going to get them plugged in. Let the system recognize that you're plugging these bad boys in. So I know right off the bat here, if I come to start and we run Gunfire setup config, I know when you first, if you get your guns on your own, Gunfire and do the setup on your own, there's a little. Obviously with this, I already have my 4 LEDs around the TV. The one up top, bottom. This is just a test TV that I have on here. Again, when you do get the Ultimate Pedestal, you will use your own TV. So I'm just unplugging the aim track bar right now to plug in the Gunfire IR sensors. Because like I said, this is just a test TV, so we have both gun bars on here. So for these Ultimate Pedestals, we can make sure and test your guns. Obviously, make sure all that good stuff is working before it gets out to you guys. Nice. Nice, Mark Daddy. All right. So I know, like, first thing with these, I know the inputs are backwards right away with A and B. So typically, I'll have to switch these right away, I know. And if you make any changes like I did, make sure you upload your settings. This one is taking a minute. And I bet you it's going to kick me out. Yep, looks like it's going to kick me out. Not a big deal. I'll close the program and now it's going to pull that on me. Wonderful. Sometimes I've noticed when you have these guns plugged in, that program won't always run. So I know unplugging your guns and then opening this, it'll pull the program up. I don't know why that is. And then when you plug in this, if you just hit detect guns, it should pop your guns back up for you. Again, I don't know the reason as to why that does that. I just know sometimes it'll do that, and then unplugging your guns and then loading the program up, then plugging them in individually and then detect guns, that should pop back up for you. So yeah, again, why is it being like this? Of course. Lovely. Seems like every time I try to do some of this stuff, it's always on live stream where I run into issues. Usually it's not this finicky. Inputs, can I change this? Middle, right. Because otherwise the right button will actually be on the left and the middle will be on the right. And typically we do the triggers the left, your right click on the right, and the middle is on the left. Hopefully you got that. That made sense. Well, usually you hit upload settings and it should fix everything for me, but for some reason it's going to be a pain in the butt. I'll just end up doing. Sorry, I had to get a charger for the phone. Give me 1 second, you guys. Sorry I'm running into so many issues right at the moment, but that's part of doing live stream. Everything isn't always perfect. I have to charge my phone. There we go. There we go. Okay. Just bear with me, I'll get there. Okay, yep, sorry. I probably got fingerprints on here. Let me clean the camera. Hopefully that's coming in a bit clear. All right, there. So it looks like it just took a minute on my end. Change that. Sometimes you just got to be patient. I'm always not patient. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm just going to do a quick restart. Computers. What happened here? Okay. There we go. It's a little bit cleaner. Yeah, I don't think that's anything that I can do on my end, David. I think that's more in the program that we're using, because I know the program that we're using, we're only able to run at 720 at 30 hertz, or 30 frames or 30 hertz for the refresh rate. I guess this is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So obviously what we're trying now, this is all still a work in process. So just bear with us, guys. All right. You. So end that again. Unplug this. Of course, the time that I try to use all this, I run into issues with the gun for IR. I've only ran into this problem like a few times, you guys, to be honest with you, of this being like this. Like probably like 3 times. And of course, not one of the times has got to be, well, I'm doing live stream. But hey, we'll get it figured out. So again, I want to change these. Right. There we go. Okay, let's try gun number 2. Just trying to get both guns. Just so I can show you both PID numbers. Because if I don't have both guns plugged in, it is probably not going to pull up both PID numbers for me. I mean, I guess which in the end isn't a huge deal because I could probably tell you, but this time it is working. So again, after you get those settings done, like I said, those input settings are usually backwards for those two. And then you're going to want to, I mean, you can adjust in here too. Usually, for the most part, I usually leave it at middle. I know I've watched some of his videos and he's done like the custom balance, some high for when you do have bigger TVs. Also too, because I know sometimes these sensors are behind acrylic. So you can always adjust that from there. But we're just going to leave them as in the middle. And we can start our calibration. Okay. Where the heck? How come it didn't pop up? There we go. Okay, is my sensors on here? I just Yeah, David, I've seen this happen like a few times to me with this like running the way it is, and like again, I don't know why. Try this one more time, and then we're gonna move on, you guys. But after you do all that, I mean, if you come in to start calibration, you're just gonna basically follow the on-screen prompts, which now we're working. So hopefully you can see. Again, now the program just froze up again on me. Okay. Well, we're going to skip past that. But you're going to want to calibrate once you get your sensors on your TV. And you'll follow the on-screen prompt. But I'm not going to spend a ton of time again with those problems that I'm running into right now. Obviously, I'll get them fixed on this machine before it gets shipped out. I'll get that figured out. And this machine's not even getting Gun for IR. But I'll get that all figured out. Not a huge deal. But next, after that, the mule shooter. If we come into here, try to zoom in. Can I zoom in? Can't really zoom in. Hopefully this comes in pretty decent. Bring the drop down, and these are the newer Gun4IRs, so they're gonna have a PID of 8046, 8047. The older ones will be 8043 and 8042 and 8043. So gun number 1 is 8046, and what I'm looking for is the 8 buttons. So hopefully you guys can see this. And you want the 8 buttons. So hopefully that's in a good view for everybody. You want to save your configuration, and then we're going to do number 2. So you can see how this happens here. With that, you're not going to want that one. It's not going to work. The mule shooter is basically just a program that's going to run some of your light gun games. So save for that one as well. And I'll end up having to go back and change that for aim track, but not a huge deal. So another area that we can come to right off the desktop is if we come down, find the little Technoparrot guy on the bottom here, we can click on him. I mean, these speakers that are in here are pretty decent and are pretty loud, to be honest with you, what we have, Cyber Acoustics.
All this myself?
To be honest with you, they're pretty loud, so I don't know, like a soundbar, if that's going to be any better for you. I mean, these have a sub and everything with them. I mean, they, like I said, they sound pretty good. They bump pretty hard.
I've never done that X-ray adhesive, and that's actually a good idea, and I've never seen it like you guys.
So I'm just going to show you one of these games. Basically, how to get in here, how you can do your button mapping for Gun4IR, and then I'm just going to kind of run through some of the games on here that you will have to change that stuff for. I'm not going to go into every single one. So right off the bat, Aliens Extermination. We come to controller setup. Now you can see all our settings for the controller. And with this in particular machine, we have an IPAC2 because it's a 2-player machine. So if I had a 4-player machine, this would say IPAC4 D1, which that's player button 1. So if I hit this and hit player button 1, it comes up as D1. And then you can see that this is set up for aim track guns, so we want to change that now to Ultimark. Or, sorry, Gun4IR. So there we go. This is for light gun player 1. Hopefully this is coming in decent. I'm not able to actually zoom in because we are running this off of a program off the computer and then cast it onto the phone.
There's not much once you start putting it on, because even if you take it back off and you put it back on, it's like that little dim.
So hopefully this comes in good enough, but you can see here, I can try to do this one-handed. So how I had this drop down, then gun 1, there's gun 2, but there's gun 1. And then for these, your trigger. So if I just do my left mouse click, there, and then make sure your toggle switch too, sorry, is to the right. The left is just going to mimic buttons 1, 2, and 3 here for your 4-way games and your arcade classics. So now if I grab my gun here and then trigger, so if I hit the trigger, usually it would go. Okay, you're just going to be a pain in the butt altogether, aren't you? Okay. Alright, here, something else is going on. I don't think that Windows is recognizing this as of right now. It is. Oh, they're there, okay. Is TechnoParrot just being stupid? So let's select our gun 1, let's try this again. For some reason, it recognized gun 2, unless I'm just having an issue with gun 1. Well, of course it would just be this way on live stream. So I just unplugged the gun, replugged it in. Let's try this again. So let's try this again. Can we do our trigger? Hey, there we go. So now if I click on this, right button, there we go. Come down here, we do the other side, left button comes up as middle. So see how I just did that? So you do the same thing for gun number 2. Again, I'm not gonna run through all this because this is for aim track guns. I'm not gonna run through every single one, but just to give you an idea how to come in here and do all that. And then once you change all this, make sure you save on your way out. Again, I'm not going to because I want this all for aim tracks. But Aliens Extermination is one. Dream Raiders is another one. Controller setup. The other thing that it did up here is you can actually put these on your mouse clicks, because for this game you can calibrate your guns on screen. I always just had luck with just skipping past that, and you don't even need to calibrate and your gun should be okay, but usually a calibration screen will pop up for this. And usually if you just put your left mouse click, you can just hit your left mouse click and that'll skip right past that and you'll be able to get into the game. But here's one game, another game. Far Cry Paradise Lost is another one to come in and set up. And again, when you order a machine from us and you get the Gun for IR from us, all this will be already done. This is just for customers that either have gotten Gun for IR themselves and are doing setup by themselves. So the Let's Go Island Disco Island Jungle, the Lost of the Island of Spice, Lost Land Adventure, Luigi's Mansion, and I'll show you where a lot of the other Patreon games are. You can buy a license from Technoparrot or support them for, I think the cheapest is like $6 a month, so it's always kind of fun just to pay the $6 at least for a month, and you can get in and test a bunch of new cool gun games, and I'll show you that as well here. So Operation Ghost, Rambo. So again, these are all gun games that I'm listing off as of right now. Sega Golden Gun is another one. Silent Hill Arcade is another one. And again, when you do controller setup, you can see how aim track is set up, left, middle, right. Just follow that again. You know, left is your trigger, middle is your left, right. I mean, if you want to change that and have something different, you could have them backwards if you wanted. Again, that's an option. I'm just showing you, again, how to kind of get in and do that. Star Trek Voyager is another one. The House of the Dead 4. Again, if you got the Patreon, here's a special. Time Crisis 5, and I think some of these might be available on the newer Technoparrot stuff that I've seen. Time Crisis 5, Too Spicy, and Transformers. So that's all those ones in this particular Technoparrot. And then that's right on the bottom here of your taskbar. So hopefully everybody kind of caught that, seeing how I did that. Again, I can't really zoom in with my camera. Again, you can re-watch these videos, and I'm pretty sure you can kind of zoom in too. Again, I'll try to do my best with everything. What else here? So I'll show you the expansion stuff and a few other things that we'll have to fix as well. So if we come to the bottom, Vile Explorer. I'm going to show you the PS2 games. So if I come to Tools, this is the way that I'm getting the PID number for those PS2 games. If I come into Demule Shooter and we come into Config INI, Edit, here's our numbers here. So hopefully you can kind of follow that, but here's my numbers. This top one here is for gun 1. The bottom one is for gun 2.
I did it the hard way. I didn't start from scratch. Well, when you did, you had to when I would order the Golden Tee kits, the sticker came in the
So if we copy it, you know, if we were to copy it, just say line 1.
Mortal Kombat was a completely different shaped camera, so it didn't fit properly.
You can hit right click, copy,
I would actually,
minimize this, and now if we come into emulators,
yeah, that's a lot. So I kind of cut this out, and then where it didn't fit in something,
PS2 light gun,
I would space it in. It looked
you can kind of see here, hopefully you can see that. So this is where I'm going. For these in particular games, I'll show you the rest in a minute here. Come here, and then you come into game configs. Double click that. This is going to pop up, I think, about 10 games. And then if you come into each individual folder here, click, right click, edit, you can see that right here is that number that we just copied. So again, with this, you just want to make sure you select this whole line. And I'll have to change this actually for aim tracks. I haven't quality checked this machine yet, but right click and then paste. And then now you can see the new coding is in there. So again, you want to save. And you're going to have to do each one of these individually for player 1. So you're going to have to come into each one of these individually and do the top one, like how I just showed you on that first one. And then again, for gun 2, do the same thing, but you're going to copy that bottom line. And then you're going to come into each one of these again individually, edit for gun number 2. Again, make sure you save. And that's for just those PS2 games inside of there. Now for MAME in your MAME IR gun folder. So if I come into MAME IR guns, MAME IR guns, and we come into our controller file. Hopefully everybody's catching this. Again, it's kind of hard to do camera and all this at once. Gunfire config, if I double click this. Should bring up the PID number for your Gunfire IR. Again, those were the older numbers, the 42 and the 43. So this is 46 and 47. So I would just change, obviously, the 2 and the 3 to a 6 and a 7. But what I'm looking for is I'm going to copy these 2 codes on the bottom. Is all I've done. And then we could come into EHA. Get rid of the 4 on the bottom there. And then if I right click and paste, you can see now I have those numbers in there. Keeps on going in like sleep mode or whatever. It says it's still working, but the camera will eventually like go away. So you can see now that I have the two numbers up here. So that's basically going to give us our numbers in when we play any of the classic games. So the classic gun games. And for that IR gun folder too as well. So I have my 2 new codes up there. Then again with this one, they're going to be 6 and 7.
I sold it because it just sat there in the basement and drove me nuts because I never played it because it's strictly a 2-player game. And I sold it to some college kids on eBay, California, and they made that their spring break trip rather than going to Florida. They drove out with a trailer from California to Wisconsin, picked up the machine, and on the way back, every night they stopped with a California machine and played the machine. Oh, that's great. They broke my heart to sell that machine. I didn't want to, but they said I didn't play it.
Oh, we have audio? Okay, yeah, I didn't know if we had audio. I guess apparently we have audio. Yeah, we lost guys.
Yeah, that's it. You didn't have it. It was strictly, it was one of the first two-player video games. I mean, you're talking about something
Sorry, this is all a work in progress, you guys. This is the fun thing about doing live stream. Thanks for everyone for sticking with us.
like 6 X's on the board and 6 goals on the
We're not geniuses with any of this by all means.
story.
Start it over. Okay. Well, I think we're gonna end this one and we're gonna start a new one, unfortunately. Something happened with the camera, so we gotta reset. So again, bear with us and we're gonna start a new one. Sorry, guys.
Everybody else is trying to hit A and B as fast as they can. I would just take the pencil and just go back and